Page 14, Clementine. It's a very well-known folk tune here in the United States. Let's look it over. It looks like it's about a page and a half long. Treble and bass clef. We got one sharp in the key signature. We're in the key of G major. Make sure you can do the G major scale, at least one octave up and down. Know the scale. Just know the notes that are in G major. And that helps you play the black keys when you're supposed to, because then you'll know all the F's are sharped. And then 3/4 time signature, and we get a pickup beat again. So we're coming in on beat 3. So we got eighth notes and quarter notes and half notes. Think we can handle all that okay? Let's check it one hand at a time. Make sure we know what we're doing because we're moving around a little bit. Right hand, you're starting here. If you look at the first few notes, you have a G and a D and a B. So we're kind of in this position to start. Here. It's not a nice, neat 5-finger position. We're getting out of that. So you just, wherever the music sends us, that's where we are. So it's 3 and 1. 3 and 1 and 2 and. And then the thumb. We just changed hand positions and we do it on repeated notes. That's good. Here, the G. 1 and 2 and. Top of page 15, you're here. And then again, changing hand positions on a repeated note. Here, bring it down, and third finger again, because we got to come down again. I want to connect the top note. I want to connect that. So the third, and then going on 3-finger. That's how you get it. Left hand, well, broken chords is here. Rest, rest, rest. Go down just an octave. Okay, that's good. It's about the left hand. So put them together. You get this. Here. Here. And then here. Right there. Second line, first measure. Here. As I play the C, left hand comes up. Right there. Because the C is played on beat 3 and the left hand has a rest. 1 and 2 and 3. Be accurate. So put the hands together, then go back through and get rid of the hesitations, and then we'll think about the articulation. It's connected. Here, those are slurs, in my opinion. They're not phrases. And all a slur tells you to do is connect the notes within the slur. We don't always lift up before and after a slur. But I would suggest you connect everything together that you can and lift up between the phrases. If you can figure out where the phrases are, lift up. Well, you can follow the sentences in the words. And if you have a comma or something in the words, you lift up. Here. Now lift up. Lift up. Lift up. So I'm lifting up between the phrases. And I have to play the melody a little quicker so I can hear the musical sentences. It's easier for me. That's how I do it. And that's why I speed it up in just the melody so I can hear it. But again, I can follow the sentences in the words. If there's a comma in the words or whatever, I can lift up. It's like on page 15 in the second line. You're here. Here, oh my darling, oh my darling. Well, there you'd lift up. Here. Lift up. But at the beginning, even though the notes are the same, the words are different and the thought is different. The musical expression is different. Because if you read in a caravan, in a canyon, and, it's all run together at the beginning. And then you lift up. But on second line on page 15, they're separate. It's a different thought. It's a different way of expressing the music, and it's kind of important. So lift up between the phrases. In the left hand, you just got 2-note slurs. Rest, down, up, down, okay. Don't play the second note short. No. Give it its full value, lift up. Yes. Give it its full quarter note. Then the dynamics. Well, that applies to the melody, which is the right hand. Forte is loud. You think loud is. Keep the left hand in the background. You top of page 15, you got the hairpin to come down. You're loud. Well, start at the beginning of page 15. The first one, loud, loud. And it come down to about a moderately loud to a moderately soft. So the second measure of that line, you're still loud. Each one gets a little softer. And the left hand, just keep it in the background. And then second line, you're back up to loud again, like you were at the beginning. And then at the bottom, you get the hairpin to get softer again. Okay, once I have an idea of the dynamics, then I think about the speed. Andante moderato, they keep mixing them together. It's a leisure side of the moderate range. It's a you don't want the eighth notes to go too fast, but you don't want to drag it either. And that's sort of how it's going to go. It may seem slow, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, but the eighth notes again are going to make it go a little slower. You can see the sections. At the end of the first line on page 15, you have the double bars. So you're ending a section and going into another section. It doesn't affect how you're playing it. I'm just pointing out the form of the work. At the bottom of page 15, you get a repeat sign. Well, there's no reverse repeat sign anywhere, so that means you go all the way back to the beginning. The idea is, okay, what's going on? Because the melody is the same in both sections. What is this? And the answer is, I'm glad you asked, is that the beginning part, the first 3 lines, that's what's known as a verse. It's got words to the verse. And then on page 15, the last 3 lines is what's known as a chorus or a refrain. And it's got the same one, it's only got one set of words to it. And the idea is, a lot of pieces do that, is you can have multiple verses, but just one chorus. So you'd be singing different words in the verses, but then in the chorus, you're always doing the same. And so it's a verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. You keep doing this as long as you got verses to sing. In this piece, there's only 2 verses given. I don't know how many verses there are in the song. There could be more, I don't know, but there's only 2 given. So the point is that you got 2 verses, you do a verse, refrain, go back and do the verse, refrain again. And that's why the double bars are there. They're 2 different sections. Even though the music is the same, it's still 2 different sections. It's binary form, A, B. A, B, A, B. And the fact that we're repeating it doesn't change the A, B, A, B any. It's the way these work. Multiple verses and 1 refrain. Now they've added pedal. I think it's fine without pedal, but they've added pedal, so why are we adding pedal? The idea here, we don't need pedal to connect the notes, because sometimes we add pedal so it can help us connect notes because we can't do it with our fingers. Well, we can do it fine. Here, the only idea with pedal would be the overtones. Because if I play the first line without pedal, it's this. But if I add pedal to the overtones, it's here. It just colors a little bit on the longer notes. That's all we're doing here with the pedal. And again, the style of pedal I'm using is I'm going to do the notes first and then the pedal. I want to start the sound before I release the dampers at the beginning. And lifting the pedal, it depends here. If I'm connecting it here, I'm lifting the pedal as I play the 8th note. So it's lift up as I play the 8th note. So it's all connected. But it's like in the second full measure here, it's a new phrase. So there's a little silence, so I gotta lift the pedal with the hands. Depending on what's going on with the phrasing is to when I don't always lift the pedal at the same time. That's good practice. We need to learn to be very precise on when we push the pedal down and when we lift it up. Listen very carefully. So in the first line, I'm connecting it in the first full measure. I'm connecting it to the 8th note. There's no silence there. But in the next measure, it's the end of a phrase, I want silence. So I lift the pedal up so there's a little silence, and that's an important distinction throughout this whole piece. Do it that way. Yeah. listen very carefully to the effect the pedal has to the sound. Don't get lazy and just pedal whenever. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics, just notes and rhythms, and I'm going to pedal it like I suggested. So I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. Ready and go, and.